everyone, George here, and we are back again with my implementation of a Five Nights at Freddy's game that's going to be in VR using the Unity engine. Now, I'm in an old version of my layout, and that's because I was trying to remember exactly what I was creating back before one of my files became corrupt. As you can see here, if you remember, I had recorded maybe one or two videos where I had extended the layout to include a loading dock area, as well as put a divider in to add a kitchen, which would be right here, which would go directly into this main dining area. And then over here is the cutoff area where there's the, basically the animatronic kind of building location. Now that I have a general sense of what I was actually doing, let's go to our latest layout and see if we can't re-add these elements in. So let's go to Open Scene, New Layout, and Layout 12. Don't save. And so here we are with everything from before with our two bathrooms now completely finished. And you'll notice that we're missing our loading dock and we're missing the divider for the kitchen. So both of those need to be added in. So let's go ahead and do that. So the easiest way to do this is, of course, just taking an element that already exists, such as this wall right here, shift right clicking, and then going to duplicate faces. And now that that's been duplicated, let's go to world mode and move this over to the side. Actually, let's move this way instead. And can we actually have this snap a little bit? There we are. Now all we need to do is grab the edges of this thing, like there and there, and go ahead and fill hole. And do the same thing for this side here. G key. Whoops. Let's grab this edge and bridge edges. And for some, it looks like that fill hole that I shouldn't have done fill hole. I should have done bridge. So right click edge, grab both and bridge. Grab these two and bridge, grab these two and bridge. Let's just do a double check. Looks like we're good. So now we can take this asset that we have and let's see here. Is that centered? Looks like it is. So now we can hold down the X key to grid snap, move, whoops. Let's go to F8 mode, modify, freeze transform, excuse me, not freeze transform, center pivot. And now we can move this off to say somewhere over here. Not exactly sure where I want this at the moment. So maybe somewhere in that area. Now what I had done before was in a prior project I had worked on that the assets never actually got used in, I had created a replica of some of the elements of my own kitchen here at my house. So I'm going to go ahead and start importing those assets in. So let's go to File, and actually let's do New Scene, File, Import, and let's go to this other project. I believe that was, let's see, I need to go to my G drive, and we are going to look for Bane Maya scenes. And so this is all trash that never got used. So we have bathtub. We should have here's kitchen 008. Let's go ahead and open that up. And if I hit frame up, F, there's the kitchen right there. Some of these elements look like they've gone backwards. So let's go ahead and grab them really fast and reverse their normals if possible. So let's go to mesh display and reverse. There we are. And then inside of here, looks like we've got some issues. So let's see if we can't find them. So let's go ahead and grab you and you. Right click, grow selection, grow. I'm going to grow that as large as we possibly can. Hit the G key. Let's see, I guess we need to go to mesh display and reverse. And you are not working for me. Why are you not working? Well, in the worst case scenario, we can dive in there and figure it out exactly why that's not working. But more importantly is how come this is all one solid object? I guess I didn't. Wood. Yeah, okay. I don't know why that's one solid object, but things like a lot of this shouldn't be solid. But anyway, all we need to do is take this now and bring it into the other area, and we can reuse these elements such as the sink and several other pieces. And actually, you know what? Before we do that, let's go in here and clean things up. So let's grab this piece and do a chamfer on that. And grab that edge and go to face. And we want to make the actual drain for this now. So let's go ahead and just move this. And actually that's going to be a problem. You can see right there. See that? So the top piece of this is causing, it's the top piece of this is causing a problem with the drain. Let's save this really fast. Go back under scenes, scenes, new layout. And actually we have a kitchen 008 already in here. I wonder if I had copy and pasted it. Let's actually just open that up really fast and see if I had screwed something up. So let's go to scenes, new layout, kitchen 008. Don't save. And yes, it looks like I've actually previously separated everything. What is that? Oh boy. I'm guessing that's you don't have anything associated with this kind of texture. Our UVs look like they're set up properly, except for a few of these, like these items here. So yeah, I definitely want to go with this layout. This is going to be kind of perfect. And all we need to do here now is probably take these elements and duplicate them over. Let's see, are these separated properly? Yes, parts of it are, and those are already. Great, so previous George, you did a great job setting things up for me so I don't have to do any work this time around. So let's duplicate this cabinet. And we're going to modify, center the pivot on this, and Control D, move this over, and we want to DV and snap this there. Great. And we're probably going to do the same thing for this gap right here. So that has a hood. So we're going to hit Control D, W, and snap this over to there. And it looks like we missed the this whole thing. There we are. W, Control D, and V snap that over there. Okay, perfect. And we need to do the same thing over here for this element. So let's grab sync group, W key. We need to Control D that. Move this off to the side. That's in the wrong place. So let's do a W, D, hold down V key, snap to there. Axis constrain to this direction. And that's great too. So we've got 2 sinks, we've got 3 ovens, or stoves, and then we've got an oven over here. Probably want a second one of those, but really, if you think about it. So let's do oven group, W, Control D, and axis constrain V snap to right there. And we missed some elements, it looks like. So yes, so these are not part of the group, which is an error. So let's grab these and put them under the oven group. And we're going to need to name them, obviously, but for right now, we'll just do this. Great. Okay, so that is probably going to be the final layout for our kitchen that we're going to end up having inside of our area. And this works pretty well. Looks like we don't have backs for some of these elements, but that shouldn't be a problem, although we don't necessarily need them for things like the stove, so we might want to remove that. All right, now that we've done that, let's make sure that everything's within the kitchen assembly file. I want to hit save. Now, do I want to take the time to unwrap these things here, or do I want to do this in the next area? Looks like there's quite a lot of elements here that have not been properly unwrapped. And, you know, in a real, do these open up? Did I actually mod? I did. Oh, I did take my time with this one, didn't I? Let's, we should probably unwrap these here. So let's go ahead, UV unwrap, planar and Y-axis, apply. And that's those elements right there. And, you know, for something like this, I can probably leave it like this, although we've got UVs that are doubled up, which is never a good thing. This is a relatively complicated, thin shape. So let's see if I can't grab this and have it go all the way around the internal area. Looks like I can. And let's also see if I can't do the same thing on the opposite side right there. And then we're going to want to do the same. Now, really, I think these are the same object, or at least topologically they're the same object, which means I can, once I've done the UVs on one of these, copy and paste them to the other side. So now that we've made that cut, let's see if we can't come along on the outside here. And I should now be able to separate this into 2 separate pieces. So let's see here. And I have, great. So we can grab both of these now, unfold, unfold, and see what happens. And that's some nasty unfolding. So we're going to want to make some cuts, obviously. And we're probably going to do them just in rings around this area and that area. And this way, things will unfold a little nicer than they were. I'm not as concerned about things unfolding poorly because it's just some metal. I don't think it'll be too much of a problem. So let's see. So I cut there and there, cut there and there. I'm going to cut. So where did I do it over here again? I did it there. So we'll cut across here as well. And there. do cuts. Now let's also so there we go. We've got lots of separate elements now. If we unfold, things are coming along a lot nicer. So some pieces a little bit better than others. So these ones are all kind of bowing outwards. And that's mostly due, I bet you, to these pieces right here. So if we make a ring, if I F key, around these elements and rip them off, I should be in a better situation. So let's go ahead and do that for each of these prongs. There we are. Much more of an older style, at least in my, this is modeled after my kitchen. I live in an older home, so everything's kind of, well, let's just say I think all of the kitchen equipment is from the 60s. So everything kind of looks a little bit different than you might normally expect. Okay, so that's unwrapped a bit. Let's just throw an orient down really fast, just so I get a better sense of where everything is coming from. And let's see, what are these smaller pieces? So it looks like we might have a scaling issue. So let's go to our kitchen assembly, modify, freeze transforms, and let's turn on scale, hit apply, close, and go back to this now and see if that helps anything out. So unfold, unfold. Nope. It just seems very thin compared to some of the other pieces. Like this one here. Now I'm thinking I might need to do a cut right down the center of this object. Not down the entirety of it, but if we grab this shell really fast and frame up on it, it looks like we might want to cut right there. And the reason is because those are the longest elements, and when I'm going to unwrap things, that's where I'm going to end up with some issues. So there's another spot. There's another spot. Then here. And this might also get rid of that center distortion a little bit more. Or maybe not. I'm not exactly sure at this moment. Let's see. What else? Really, any of these pieces need to be cut up. And wow, look at the different size difference between them. That's huge. We're going to have to definitely run some stuff in a minute to fix that. So I think that's everyone. Okay, so let's go ahead now and shift right click, go to cut, grab everyone and unfold. And it didn't seem like that did much of anything. So let's grab everyone, and I'm going to do an optimize a few times. And that's really not doing anything either. Let's do an orient. That's much better, actually. Let's go to layout, layout UVW. We're going to preserve our 3D ratios. We're going to allow for rotations of up to 90 degrees. And everything else looks fine. Let's hit apply. All right. And you know, it fixed the some of the problems we had before. Now this element right here did not get split. So let's go ahead now and fix the ones that I missed. So these two need to be split up. So let's do a cut on them. Grab those and let's do an unfold and an orient now. Much better. And this one did not get split either. So let's do a split on that. And it looks like that's the only one I missed. So let's go ahead and unfold that element and then orient that as well. And grab everything here and go to layout, layout UVW. And this time I'm just going to do a layout of 1. We're going to pack this with other elements of the stove. So I'm not interested really in wasting our time for this. I just want stuff to get laid out temporarily. Okay, now that we've done that, we should be able to grab this element and this element now and go to Mesh, Transfer Attributes. And we're going to do this based on topology. And we're going to just transfer the UVs from one to the other. Looks like that worked out just fine. And we're going to do the same thing again for these elements. So great, that worked. And apply. And one last time, we're going to do it here and here, and hit apply. Here and here, and hit apply. Great. So our stove tops are set up. Now we need to do the underside, this element right here. So once again, we'll come at this from probably the Y direction, the planar, hit apply, close, And we're going to need to slice this up a bit. And let's take a look. And it looks like, unfortunately, I did not add a slice in the right direction. But that's fine. All right, I did not, when I bevel these edges, I didn't add a center seam, which is something I usually try to do. Yeah, stupid me. And we'll do this one here, and we'll come over to the other side and do this one there. And I just want to make sure that see, I messed that up. It should be right there. And it should be right there. Okay, so that'll cut up those segments. I'll need to cut on the inside of these as well. So let's see how far that goes into it. Well, it looks like that's some nasty geometry right there, which I'm kind of worried about at the moment. So that'll slice. I don't know if that's necessarily what I want to do. I think I might want to do a slice right there to separate the inner and outer piece first. So let's make that cut and grab this and move it out of the way. And then now I will separate this from the rest of it. So let's just do edge, 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 and edge. And shift right click, cut, UV shell, grab all, unfold, and let's do an orient on these. That's good. I'm happy with that. And just move that off, maybe, I don't know, somewhere. Let's grab all of this stuff now and put it maybe right there. I want to keep these, I think, over here, actually. Just trying to keep things in order, at least a little bit in order. That's fine. Okay, now we need to separate these other elements. So let's see what we've got. So first, let's hide some stuff that's not helping us. So both of these now can go temporarily. And this is a very large central piece in the middle. And I'm trying to think how I want to handle that. Right click edge, can I grab that entire thing? I can. Luckily, things aren't too messed up. And let's shift right click, go to cut, UV shell. And that did not do a cut, actually, it looks like. So let's try this again. So it looks like it only did half for some reason. So that immediately makes me want to go in here, grab everything, go shift right click, merge verts, set this at a very low number and hit apply. And now I want to see if that will go all the way around. It still doesn't. Now does it go? It looks like it's these triangles that are causing an issue. But that's all right. We can just grab those, shift right click, cut, UV shell, and now we have this as a separate element. And if we want to, we can go in here and we can carve out these pieces in here. So let's take a look really fast and see exactly what I did. And it looks like I'm going to want to make a cut here and here, here and here to separate the inside from the outside. So let's go ahead and make those cuts really fast. So I'm going to do cut and UV shell now. We're going to grab these, pull them out, and we might as well go ahead and unfold them as they are. And I don't think I'm really going to do anything else with these. So those are the burners. I guess I can just manipulate them in Substance Painter. Now, yeah, I guess I'll just manipulate them in Substance Painter. So what happens if I unfold this? So a little bit nasty here and there, and that's just probably to do with this buckling upwards and going downwards. We could, if we wanted to, separate these elements out, and that would get rid of that distortion, I bet. We grab all three of these now and move them off, and then we unfold those and orient them. And we go to this now and unfold this, and that fixed a lot of it. And if we go to optimize, we can probably optimize away all of the distortion, which we just pretty much did. Yeah, that's pretty straight. So all these elements now are pretty much done. We'll move them off to the side with those ones. All right, so now we're left with this little outer piece right here. Once again, we're probably just going to break this up in the corners. And I believe I picked this one right here. And let's make our window a little larger. There we are. And there you are. And there you are. Okay, now we can shift right click, cut, unfold, and we can orient. And that's pretty much it. We might come back in and make another cut on this element here, the burner itself, just to separate things out so that when I'm in Substance Painter, I have an easier time. Because selections might be pretty hard between the bottom and here. But for right now, I think we're all right. So why don't we grab everything and let's do a layout UVW. We'll just do one packing iteration again. Once again, this is going to get combined with the top piece into one material. So there's no reason for us to wait forever. And great. Save, F8, grab this, grab that. We're going to go to Mesh, Transfer, and Apply. And do this one more time. Apply. Great. So now let's go ahead and display, show all. And let's go ahead and save this now as a new file. So save kitchen 008, kitchen 009, enter. All right. So I guess next up are these dials. We might as well do one of them. We're at 23 minutes right now of recording this video, and I don't like to keep these videos too long. So let's do a UV. I think we can do one of these dials and then we'll stop for the night. So let's come at this for the towards the x-axis, frame up, and we're going to do some cuts right off the bat. So definitely a cut there, probably a cut there, and then we'll probably do some cuts internally on this as well. So why are you so nasty? Hold on a second. Do I have multiple objects being... No, there we go. That's all I wanted. Okay. We got this selected, that selected. Does the knob have an internal component? No, it does not. Right click, cut. Let's grab this element and this element, move them out of the way. Move you over there. Now this one we're going to want to come at from the side. So I guess the Z-axis or the Y-axis would have been fine, either one. And we need a cut. So why don't we just go ahead to the underside of this object? And I picked the wrong thing, but that's all right. So I guess the underside would be right there. So we can select that and do a cut. Once again, let's hit F8. Just make sure we have the right thing selected. There we are. Now with that cut, we should be able to unfold this all the way around. And that's going to be just fine as it is. We shouldn't need to really do anything. And then now we just have this, and this is going to be kind of a pain in the butt. I'm thinking we're going to want to make a cut on the inside of this right here. And the reason for this is in case I need to add a label, like a hot or temperature label or something. Now that didn't work. So let's figure out why that didn't work. It should have worked. That's what I wanted. There we are. Okay. Now unfolding that really shouldn't do anything. In fact, I want to undo the unfold because I want that to be oriented straight vertically. I don't want that to be changed. And now we've got this thing. So if we unfold this, that kind of turns into a nightmare. Now if I make a slice right down the bottom of this, that should unfold the entire thing like that. And if I really want to, we could make a seam going down the center of this. But then if I do that, I will have to duplicate the object. So, but I really do think it's probably a smart idea, topologically, to make a seam going through this entire thing. So let's go ahead and do that, and we'll just have to duplicate this asset next time. Okay, so there we are. Now we have that nice slice. We can go in here, select it all the way through the center. And let's see, does it not go all the way through the center? And it looks like it doesn't. Looks like we got an issue up here. And we're going to fix that really fast by multi-cutting again. Hit enter. Now we've got a seam that goes all the way from the top to the bottom. And there we go. We'll do a cut. Grab both, unfold, unfold. There we are. And we might as well just take the whole thing now and orient them. Well, we don't want to orient everything. Let's just orient those. That's not necessarily better. But we'll let it be for now. So let's go ahead and lay everything out. And let's turn off rotation for just a moment and see how it does. I just don't want to rotate this element right here. You know what, that's not terribly great. Let's turn rotation on. I can always go back in and change that. It is in 90-degree elements. Okay, so that's what it came up with. Not great, but once again, this is going to be bundled up with the other pieces. All right, so with that now, all we need to do is go under our stove, and there's knob 01. There's 4 knobs total. So let's duplicate this knob, and I'm going to put the pivot on the outside of this, actually, right in the center point. DV right there. And now let's go ahead and snap this to the other one. Now there's a lot of geometry right there in that centerpiece. Do I really need that? I don't think so. So there we go. That looks like it's not quite synced up. You see, there's so much geometry right there. That's why I don't like it. Grab the other old knob, delete that one. Control D, move this over. And snap right there. Delete the old one. Control D. And move this to that point. Select the old one and delete that. Okay. So now all we need to do is duplicate these knobs off for the rest of these stoves. And really, probably the best way to do something like this is to take all the knobs that are within this group and group them together and just call this stove knobs. And open that up really fast. So we've got knob 3, 2, 1, and knob, I'll just call this one 0. And for right now, let's create a pivot that's going to be easy for us to work with. And that's going to be on the center point of the first dial. WDV, snap it right there. And now we just need to Control D, and we are going to have to, of course, move these groups eventually into the right stove. And V-snap right there. Great. Now we can go through and select the old knobs. Well, let's make sure we're selecting the old knob. Let's duplicate these knobs first, then go through and delete the old ones. Control D. And move this. Do I have that constrained? Yes, I do. Okay. Move this right there. Okay, now that I've done that, I'm going to take both groups of knobs. We're going to hide them for a second. All the knobs, actually. And now let's find the old knobs and delete them. Great, delete. And now we can go to Display, Show All. And now we just need to grab the knobs and put them under the right stove groups. There and there. Now, we should be good to go on those knobs. Now, I don't know why I did that. Technically, I should just be doing this to one stove and then deleting the other stoves and duplicating them over. Once again, different ways of working. Could have done either way. Doesn't really matter. This video just hit the 30-minute mark. That's when I like to cut things down. So I will see you next time. We'll probably finish off the stove UVs, and then we'll have to, it looks like we've got quite a bit of UV unwrapping left to go on these upper portions, these bottom portions, but some pieces like these sinks and whatnot, it looks like I've already done some of the work. So that's great. So some of this stuff we'll just be done with. And these, of course, need to be kind of, wow, that's some, I don't know what I was thinking there. Looks like I started to do some of the work. So we shouldn't have too many videos of UV unwrapping. I know those are kind of the boring ones. So we'll try to power through this as fast as we can. All right, everyone, I'll see you next time. So long and goodbye.